Wow, so definitely not expecting the biggest update yet, but ladies and gents, this is No Man's Sky 5.0, or better yet, No Man's Sky Worlds. It actually adds a ton of cool new tech. We get new biomes and more content on planets, new Starship Troopers inspired community events, new water and weather rendering tech, new mechs, weapons, upgrades, and so much more. So let's check it out in this video. And here it is, ladies and gents, No Man's Sky Worlds Part 1. We also have the updated poster, which looks really awesome, of course, with the updated graphics and all of that. And also with the new biomes over here. We're going to check those in just a little bit. But in the meantime, this is update 5.0 called Worlds Part 1, introducing update 5.0. This transforms the universe into a richer, wilder, more varied, and immersive place, featuring huge leaps in water and cloud visuals, increased planetary diversity, new gameplay features, and more. Our journey continues. That being said, there's something big coming around that Hello Games did. They took inspiration from basically Helldivers 2. So this brings the 14th expedition called the Big Hunt, or well, the Liquidators. So engage in galactic bug hunt, a No Man's Sky 14th community expedition. A vile brood is spreading corruption across the universe. Join the Liquidator Vanguard to do your part and purge the rot from the start. And we can see some of the gameplay over here with some of these new bug creatures, which are definitely menacing. They look way better than I imagined, and they also seem to leave behind some of this fire. I'm going to assume some damage, lingering effects that you definitely need to be careful of. But there's more. Report for duty alongside other travelers to liquidate biological horrors and hosts of giant insects in a high-paced combat expedition full of custom balanced swarm combat. An exclusive selection of rewards await those that do their part in the war on bugs, including mounted bug trophies, new posters, and a complete set of organic armor parts forged from the bodies of the brood themselves. And we can of course see how some of that looks like in action. We see the corpse over here of a massive insect, but I also checked some of the new armors in game, and yeah, they look definitely nice. You have a full-on armor set piece with a lot of options for the helmet. This is how it looks like. It looks really interesting. This, I believe, is going to make a lot of people go out there and hunt for it. Even the jetpack is going to be in the theme. You can, of course, also find some of these creatures out in the open world, maybe even make them your companions from the looks of it. Since we talked about the armor set, we also have the new flight pack, or the new jetpack, which is available to claim from the Liquidator expedition, a fusion of advanced technology and resinous organic secretions. The chitin flight pack represents the apex of bioorganic engineering, and of course it also emits this really disgusting slime. I guess we're going to all go ahead and use it. Additional colossal insect trophies are also added. Some of these headpieces that you get from different creatures that you defeat, you can now place on walls and have them on display. Looks like there's quite a number of selections that you can get and eventually just place on walls inside your base. Moving on though, we do have the dramatic new worlds. Now this is what you've been waiting for. We do have new biomes. Planets look a lot more fantasy-like, and of course this shot right here with the floating islands is by far my favorite. I cannot wait to set up a base on one of these. That being said, planets across the universe have been transformed in wild and radical ways. Gravitational distortions have warped some lush and tropical worlds, shaking loose floating islands that now drift into the atmosphere above the planet's surface. Hop from rock to rock with the jetpack or starship, build bases in the sky, or simply marvel at the dramatic waterfalls that cascade down from the sky. The same goes for the paradise planets. It gets a blossoming megaflora. New lush worlds have bloomed into life. Discover idyllic garden planets flourishing with exotic aliens, flowers, perfect for exploration, discovery, or the construction of a beautiful new base. And I totally agree, this is probably going to be my next location for the update. Besides this, we also have sub-zero worlds. So frozen worlds have been transformed into ice-laden trees and glittering glacial rocks. New planet surfaces, as well as significant number of new flora and mineral formations bring a new diversity of sub-zero planets. We can of course see a bit of that, at least particle-wise, it definitely seems upgraded compared to before. Also, desert diversity is going to be another thing. In fact, diversity or biodiversity of sand-swept planets has been expanded, with large feather-fronted palms adorning the horizon of some worlds. They've also improved the noxious worlds. You can venture totally unexplored toxic climates. These new worlds have horizons alive with alluring but poisonous flora, while the ground underneath your feet bubbles and oozes with living slime. Furthermore, irradiated landscapes also get an upgrade. Delve into the twisted forests of the new radioactive environments. Irradiated planets are now more colorful and diverse than ever, but remain a deadly exploration challenge without the appropriate protective gear. But the pièce de résistance, in my opinion, is the high-definition water. How many years have we been asking for this? Well, it's finally in-game, and it's so much better than we think it is. Because, as you can see, it's also very wavy, and these waves actually change depending on the weather conditions. So an astounding range of sights await explorers on water planets, as seas, oceans, and lakes now ripple and sparkle with realistic wave formations and foam generation. As well as these living dynamic water conditions, a total overhaul of the water rendering technology also brings dramatic reflections and beautifully lit surface details. And I'm pretty sure that this is going to be the same technology that we will see in Light No Fire, which I'm all up for. Here's a better glimpse of how dynamic water actually works, so we can see how all of these degrees of water actually do affect your entire scene. Basically, it can actually become very wild, so we just saw a mini tsunami happening over there in the background, but it actually goes beyond that. So bodies of water respond to weather, ranging from glassy lakes to turbulent oceans, depending on the stillness of the breeze and the depth of the water. Violent storms can generate dramatically choppy seas and huge ocean swells. And yeah, this should make water exploration that much cooler. Also, watercolor variety, we can see some of that in action. It actually looks really nice. It goes from super high fantasy to very realistic. I like it, and this is going to give us even more reasons to search for more perfect planets. Also, spectacular underwater bases are now going to be a thing because of the new options to improved waters. They also improve the views of the waterline, which you can also see when swimming. Aquatic landing jets is another thing. We can finally land directly on the surface of water, enabling travelers to dive directly into the sea from the nose of the ship. Starships may also be summoned to the water for a quick escape from the middle of the ocean. Finally, that's the case, no longer getting stuck in the middle of it, which was so freaking annoying. Anyway, we need to keep on going. We have the vile insect queens. A vile brood of insects has been infesting planets across the universe. Find and destroy their grubs and then confront the hearts of the hostile swarm. They're huge, hideous brood mothers. So it's not just the expedition that we get these in. We also get an event like that on planets in the default game. These colossal lumbering bugs are heavily armored and will challenge even the most experienced exterminators with devastating spit attacks. And we can also see that they feature some additional ads. Moving on the subject of planetary upgrades, otherworldly life, we do have a lot of new creatures. So discover strange new creatures all across the universe. Bizarre floral hybrids stalk some planets, exploring their environments with stamen-like whiskers and petal-like faces. So these are fully tameable. You can make them as pets. At least that was the case in some of the leaked information that we got a few hours prior. Also, beetle diversity. We talked about that, new creature variation. Here it is. We have new beetles that obviously we can go ahead and take. And my god, some of these are actually looking really, really menacing. A wide variety of new insect-like creatures can now be discovered, scuttling across the universe. While some of these alien insects are hostile, many species are gentle, peaceful beings. Study their natural patterns, harvest their nourishing slime, or adopt them as companions. And we can see some of the options right here. I do wonder if any of them can actually fly, like some of the beetles we have in the base game. Probably yes, but some of them seem to be fully stuck to the ground. On planet surfaces, we also get living buildings. Very rarely in sectors where the anomaly field is strongest, planetary buildings have evolved legs and transformed themselves into sentient constructs that roam across the landscape. And I mean, look at these extractors just freaking walking randomly. I do wonder if we can even tame them. or get them as pets. I don't even think that's a possibility, but that is so strange. We can even see like the archive getting legs right here and moving. I do wonder if it's going to be on the same size or if it's going to be smaller, but I think it's going to be on the smaller size. There's definitely no way it's going to be that big. So we've seen a shot of this in action at some point in the leaks, but carved through the toughest enemies in a new heavy-duty mech suit. All those who do their part in the Liquidator's expedition will unlock these new combat-focused components for the Minotaur. So this is going to be the same as we had the AI bot, the blue one that we unlocked previously. So this is going to be another version of that. As the community purge the vile brood from the universe, plans for these parts will become available at the Quicksilver Synthesis Companion for those unable to take part in the expedition. Maybe just a typo, but I don't know. We can see, of course, the parts right here that we can unlock straight from the synthesis vendor. It's going to be worth it for the new Minotaur because it couples well with the new flamethrower upgrade. You can incinerate enemies with a new flamethrower weapon for the Liquidator armored mech. This dedicated combat override deals extreme damage at close range and no doubt will be a very suitable option for some of these new insects. Yeah, definitely gonna bring these in the fights against them. We also have Walker Battles. Walker Battles now framed by a detailed combat HUD indicating the targetable vulnerabilities of these elite sentinel units. We can see 3 of them, so I'm going to assume like the chest piece, the carapace, maybe even like the parts on the legs, and then finally it's full on health once you destroy those. At least that's what I'm going to assume this is going to be like. Many screenshots actually that look really awesome, but another thing that they added to make planets so that more amazing is the new volumetric clouds. So a total overhaul of the clouds bring vastly increased detail and definition. The cloud system has been rewritten from the ground up to improve performance, fix visual artifacts, and introduce fine details such as wispy cirrus clouds and dark rainy leaden nimbus clouds, which I mean we can see from the shots right here look so puffy and so awesome. Yeah, I definitely noticed an increase in performance in-game as well, at least on the PlayStation 5. It seems that it's not lagging as much when entering and exiting the atmosphere. In addition, cloud coverage variety has been boosted, varying significantly from planet to planet, as well as over time and in response to local weather conditions. Speaking of that, we also have a full wind simulation, so the wind system has been reworked to bring planets to life with dynamic and consistent weather. Leaves and grass rustle in gentle wind, while whole trees rock and sway during storms. We can, yeah, of course, see some of that right here in the shot, but I'm not seeing any of the rocks actually moving. Smoke effects, blowing dust clouds, rain, snow, and other environmental effects all go through the same wind system for an immersive and consistent exploration experience. Atmospheric variety is another thing. They added planetary atmospheric effects, which are much deeper, richer, and more varied, with thick snowfall, flakes of ash and amber, heavy rain, whirls of dust, and storm crystals, all visually enhanced. Also, on the subject of weathers, we now have more dramatic storms, and we can also see from the footage right here, it definitely looks as such. Exploring a planet during a blizzard or thunderstorm is more exhilarating than ever. New ambient effects and atmospheric fog combine with wind-responsive particle effects to create dramatic storms that sweep across a planet's surface, and we can see some of these, gusts of winds, plus all of that dust over there looking really high quality, and of course some of the thunders in the background. Moving on though, another great thing to add a bit of diversity to biomes is the sky colors. So step deeper into 1970s science fiction palette with a range of new sky colors, including some especially rare hues for dedicated explorers to discover. And this gives me some massive Pathfinder vibes, right? Or even No Man's Sky 1.0. There has been a time in which it's definitely made the game a lot more vibrant. It seems that some of these palettes bring some of that back, which I'm all up for. Besides this, we also have some engine enhancements. Like I said, performance is also part of it. So many underlying systems have been reworked for improved visuals and increased performance. Rendering of environmental objects such as trees, rocks, and grass has been moved to a GPU-based system, allowing for denser worlds with increased performance. Planetary flora, mineral, and curiosities have improved the level of detail from further distances and a broader range of angles. Terrain generation has been rewritten to incorporate dual marching cubes, whatever this is, increasing loading speed, improving frame rate, and saving memory. So yes, please, more of that. I definitely love an upgrade that also improves performance. New interaction labels have also been added, so we can see the distancing on the UI element over here seems to be better. We also get DLSS 3, which is also going to further contribute to, of course, our performance improvements from 30 FPS to 67 in this case with DLSS 3. Moving on though, we do have more changes to graphical improvements. So in this case, detailed shadows have now more depth and realism. Planetary environments are now more richly lit with natural features, structures, starships, and travelers accurately self-shadowing and representing exposure to sunlight. Especially noticeable on finely detailed flora such as grass. Additionally, shadow cast by clouds are now calculated in relation to the sun positioning. And we can of course see the before and after, which is still a significant difference. I mean, even before I thought it looked good, but now it seems to be even more detailed. Otherwise, we do have some quality of life changes. A significant number of quality of life features have also been added, including the docking tractor beam at space stations and freighters is now smoother. Reloading can be interrupted to quickly cycle weapon modes. Refiners can now be quick filled with an entire stack of items. Core technologies can be instantly repaired from the quick menu, and the range of analysis visor target sweep has been dramatically improved, and much more we can check in the patch notes. Also, new gestures, we can see a bunch of them right here. A new dancing mode, which is really awesome. Fold your arms, burst into energetic dance, poise for action, ponder, and so on. These are just some of the options that we can get. In the meantime, we have a bunch of other features. One of them is going to be discovery renaming. And yeah, if you discovered any systems, planets, flora, fauna, and minerals which you named before and even uploaded, you can go ahead and rename them at any time once again, even after you have already uploaded them. But moving on, we have another feature that was data mined a while ago. It's the customizable solar ships. We can finally customize them at the ship builder. So the Starship Fabricator now supports the crafting of solar class starship. Select and combine a vast array of unique components for cockpits, fuselage, wings, and sails to design your dream solar starship. And we can see all the options right here. Obviously, there's going to be like hundreds of parts, as it was the case with the other ships. So yeah, good luck hunting for all of them, but now you have a lot more reasons to go out there and find cool options. Also, skylight base parts, we have a bunch of those too. Bring the view of the stars into your base with the skylight roofing parts. These new pieces are available for the stone, timber, and alloy construction sets, and we can see them right here if you want to take a quick gaze at the stars. Also, the Vile Brood Nexus mission, the observers abroad the space anomaly regret the spread of the Vile Brood across the universe. They are queens and grubs disturbing the delicate balance of local ecosystems. They request that travelers band together to cult these invasive species and restore balance to nature. Group up with friends or strangers at the Nexus to sign up for this new mission. It seems that Hungering Tendrils also got an upgrade, or I may be mistaking this with some of the ones in the base game, but there's a new type of encounter. You can test your skills against pumped up Hungering Tendrils. Their many mouths crave the soft flesh of travelers and will now spit acidic projectiles when fighting at range. Your progress in these challenging fights is now tracked with a detailed combat HUD. And I think that there's going to be an item that we can get from this, from the looks of it. Good to note is that insectoid headwear gets to be customizable, and you can actually get a lot more options from just hunting some of these broodling skulls. Well, basically that's what they're called, but if you go ahead and hunt for the brood modders, you're going to eventually get a bunch of these, which is really nice, gives you more options to go out there and explore. Other changes to the planets include burned worlds, scorched landscapes have been transformed with a wealth of new and diverse fiery flora, superheated crystals, ash-dusted atmospheres, and more. New night sky variety. Nights are more varied than ever with a greater range of sky and lightning colors, and darkness levels that vary from world to world. From velvety black skies to glowing nightscapes, light levels will also now change over time as the night progresses. And we can see that it's almost pitch black over here. But there's many more in patch 5.0. Totally check out the links down below. There's also going to be a live stream in like a couple of hours at most. So if you want to stay up to date and check that out, yeah, just make sure you subscribe to the channel and leave a like on this video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.